Please rise. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I call this meeting to order. First off, we have a public comment for 10 minutes. Would anyone like to offer a public comment?
Yes, please.
Okay, sir.
Good evening. I'm Miles Flanagan. First of all, rise in support of not paving Texas Hill Road. I've done that before. I did also want to mention that we've submitted a proposal to the gift committee. It's on behalf of the Taconic Creek Old Road Society. We look forward to those discussions. I did want to comment a little bit about the basis of our proposal. We know that there's another gift proposal that's part of the agenda. First, regarding the proposal from Honey Dog Farm, Very much believe that, this should be looked at in isolation, purely between Honey Dog and the town. The reasoning is that we don't believe, first of all, it should be a basis for considering gifts from other roads, because we can't understand the economics around it. Secondly, applying the Honey Dog Road, Honey Dog Farm, gift by road length to Texas Hill Road means that for the same period of time, an equivalence would be $200,000 for the same period. That's, at least from our perspective, a very troubling precedent. What we were able to do, however, is develop a basis based on the 284s, the town budget. Town has always maintained Texas Hill Road within the scope of the 284. Most recent $95,000 of aggregate and calcium, which was slightly less than prior years. This could be used for various work, but we assumed all of it was applied to the 20 miles of unpaved road in the town. 95,000 divided by 20, 4,750. Texas Hill Road is 2.1 miles long with periodic maintenance. That comes out to about $20,000. Why we couldn't use information provided previously by the town and by other discussions. Well, first of all, the town has always been able to maintain Texas Hill Road purportedly every year within the 284. We've now been told the annualized costs are almost $145,000 to maintain the 2.1 miles of Texas Hill. We've been told the chip sealing will save that 145, but we've never been provided substantiation for the change between what's approximately $10,000 worth of materials based on the town 284 budget for a 2.1 mile road to $145,000 for annual maintenance for that same 2.1 miles. Labor is clearly part of it, but labor was always part of it, part of practice, and certainly not to the difference of $135,000 over that length. So we were only able to base the proposal on that which was accessible, which is the historical budgets and performance. We look forward to engaging with the committee to dig into that further. Just a personal note, as an aside, notice in the agenda there was a letter from Supervisor Kirsten regarding land owned by Morton and Lynn Fuhr for road work that was done with their permission. I just want to be clear, they no longer own that property. I do. And I want to make sure that it's understood that that permission should be explicitly withdrawn. Thank you for your time.
Anyone else?
Okay.
Good.
Are you on the same subject?
Yes, but it does.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So, as you guys know, I'm Amy Davidson. Hello. I just wanted to tell a little anecdote. So yesterday I met a woman walking on Texas Hill Road who was visiting from Vermont. And she actually walked up Carlson from Claret, and she was enjoying the scenic walk and she wanted to see the cemetery. So we started talking about dirt roads, and she shared that in Vermont, right, Vermont is full of dirt roads. I informed her of our town's plan to pave the road, and she looked at me in shock, and she goes, "They do not need to do that." And she's absolutely right. This town does not need to be paving all of our remaining dirt roads, because that is what this board is deciding to do right now, is to say we no longer need or want dirt roads in the town of Hillsdale. As Miles had said, we haven't had proven historical data to prove that there's some savings. There absolutely might be, but we haven't seen it and we don't know exactly what the amount is. And it definitely, the road will not be safer. It's going to increase the traffic speeds. And I don't know how and who in this town is going to enforce traffic speeds on Texas Hill Road, and who's going to determine what the new speed limit would be if it does indeed get paid. But I also want to talk about, definitely welcome the gift committee. Happy that that is something that we can do. We're glad that we have a proposal in, but that whole process has not been transparent, and we haven't had a process or a timeline. And in fact, the Texas Hill Road maintenance work, which is actually in preparation for the paving, started before the first gift committee meeting even met. So I know you guys said, come see what happens at the gift committee, but frankly, we didn't even have an opportunity to talk, as we know, or talk about it. So I don't really think that's really a fair way of operating, and to say there's a gift committee, but meanwhile, we're gonna go ahead and start paving and not telling us about the timeline. And now it seems like the town is proposing to pave all the way for Texas Hill Road by amending the 284 today. And that actually feels very vindictive and retaliatory, in my opinion. So the Hillsdale Town Board, you guys have the opportunity to amend it and just stop the paving, so we can actually just have a conversation among the town as civilized human beings. We would welcome that, and we have not had that opportunity, which I think is pretty sad and a little shameful. And also the 284, of course, could be redirected to other funds such as the culvert replacements on Mitchell or Breezy Hill, at least to be some funds to be directed for that. So we ask that all road work on Texas Hill Road stop immediately and until we can meet with the gift committee. And I also asked the town attorney, and I'm really sorry he's not here. Is he expected to come?
He's ill. I'm not sure if he's on the line. But your time
We
is
would
up.
like to explain the gift process to us and what the steps are to negotiate a gift. As it appears that there were several stages of negotiation with Honey Dog Farm. And we also remind the board again that it's your fiscal responsibility to be overseeing what happens.
Thank you.
at the highway
Next.
department. So thank you.
Would someone else like to speak? We have time for one more speaker.
So my name is Stephen Klein. I've been coming up to this area for the last 25 years. I'm an avid cyclist. I actually volunteer at the Fish Bike Shop in Quebec Falls. And, you know, Chatham embraces their dirt roads. They champion, you know, they actually went as far as forming a nonprofit organization, which you probably all are aware of. They have a ride every year that brings in lots of money. I mean, it was amazing. I did it this time for the first time this year, and it was amazing to see that many people enjoying these dirt roads. And there's no reason why this needs to be done here. There's absolutely no reason. I agree everything you just said, but widening the road, paving the road just brings faster cars, more roadkill. It's gonna be unsafe. I understand that, you know, when you have to rescue somebody, maybe, but I don't see the positives outweighing, you know, I mean, the negatives outweighing positives. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't add up. It's basically what I don't want to battle on, but this is what I have to say. And the fact that you started widening the road already without any input from the you know, people here that's just wrong. No other way to say it.
Thank you. We have a minute and 32 seconds left.
I'm just here, Susan Soloway, I live on Texas Hill Road, and we've lived there for about 30 years. And the reason I am here is because I have seen several cars already not make it past the 2 hairpin turns on our road. There's 2 fabulous hairpin turns, one's right by our cemetery. I saw the crash the first time, I think the first year we lived here, it was just glass everywhere. So people are already not driving it correctly. If it's paved, I don't wanna see what's gonna happen, and it's gonna be on all of our consciences. The only other thing I wanna say is, this is even those who have written in and said, like years ago, please pave it, I got a flat tire. The whole road is now unanimous, or at least everybody who we are in contact with, which is 90% of Texas Hill Road, said, please don't pave. We have a piece of peacefulness. We have people hiking. It's a beautiful view at some points where it meets Claverk is another blind curve. It belongs staying rural if you want the safety of your people. And I know you do want that. I know about the emergency vehicles, but so far, everybody's been serviced. You guys have gotten up the road when we needed you, and I bless everyone in all the services. And you manage the potholes. So we would like to just not be paved.
Thank you. Hey, that's our public comment. Thank you. Next up is the approval of the minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the May 20th?
Make the motion. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay, thank you. Motion to approve the May 29th minutes. Can I get a motion, please? Can I get a second? Erwin and Joanna, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, our May financials, we're coming up on halfway through the year.
Mike, may
yeah.
I just ask a question
Sure.
about the agenda overall?
Yeah.
Because I noticed when I sat down here, that a number of items were added to the agenda. Because the file is shared with town board members differently now,
Mhm.
we don't see when it's necessarily updated or how it's updated. So can you tell us
Sure.
what updates were made?
All files were uploaded by 7 p.m. yesterday. There was one exception. I had a number wrong in the sewer calculation that Rabina caught. In terms of the agenda, that can be updated up until showtime. As long as there's no new material to review. In fact, I don't even have to have an agenda, so.
Right, but as a fellow board member, I'm just asking you what was updated because I don't remember reviewing a lot of this information that I understand the 24 hour documentation
Yes.
period exists for members of the public,
Right.
right? So that gives the public time to
Okay.
see what the board is going to review, but
I update the agenda and the materials up until 24 hours before. I give you a week's notice that the draft agenda is up, but I will continue as stuff comes in through the day as it normally does. So anything, all materials.
There's
But
one item
yeah.
on this agenda. It says an amended 284. Which I
Right.
think is a very sensitive and controversial subject.
That was forwarded to me by the highway superintendent
Okay.
Monday morning, and I posted it right away.
Okay, yeah, that was not, the board members were not informed that this was being added to the agenda. So the 284
Mhm.
agreement is an agreement between the highway superintendent and the town board.
Yes.
So I would expect to receive a draft of this prior to 24 hours before a board meeting. I'm not able to discuss it with my fellow board members. I'm not able to ask questions. I'm not able to ask questions to my constituents.
Be discussing with fellow board members outside of the public.
Excuse me?
Okay, well, regardless, it was posted.
What did you
Are
say?
you discussing policy outside of a board meeting?
Policy?
Well, you said you were discussing with
This
the
is
board member.
Like agenda, of course,
Right,
of course I can speak to our constituents about items.
but you
that are
said
on the
fellow
agenda.
board members.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's not a fellow board member.
This is an agreement between him and us.
And you said you were gonna discuss it with fellow board members. You should be doing that in public.
I can discuss with individual board members
Okay.
anything I want, Mike. That is ridiculous. Of course, that is how we work together and collaborate.
Okay,
When we meet and
okay,
we
do you have a
have,
motion?
when we meet and we have quorum, we can continue discussing those things with quorum. But yes, this is a document that we
Okay.
are all supposed to review and discuss.
And you have
And
access,
a group of
Can
citizens.
you allow her to finish speaking? I think what you're doing is very rude.
I think you should be quiet.
yeah, there's no public comment.
No public
Please,
comment.
we have 3 minutes here, go ahead.
Does she have not the right to speak?
Okay,
All I'm saying is that we have a group of very concerned, the elephant in the room, it's a group of very concerned citizens. They were not notified that their road was going to be paved. Work commenced last week. That's why these people are in the room today. And they did not know last week that the 284 would be revised. Their sympathetic council person also did not know that the 284 was going to be revised and it's motioned. It says motion to sign.
yes,
Yeah, so that was just snuck on the agenda, right? So that we couldn't
Okay.
discuss it.
your point is taken, but we need to move on. Let's see, the county report, Letters have been sent to those who have Airbnbs. The date to file for compliance is July 1. The county will be assigning individual identification numbers for each Airbnb, which the town can use for its records also. The town clerk and code enforcement officer have been taking training with the firm Granicus. The county's doing the best it can. There was a state law that came in and kind of superseded it. They kind of had to regroup. The letters have gone out. It is kind of a work in progress. It is going to be a bit of growing pains, but I think we can work through it. Next up is our budget amendments.
Did you do the May financials?
I'm sorry.
Did you do the May financials?
Other than, we're still in the budget lines and yeah, I'm still in good financial shape. The budget amendment.
So I just have a question
sure.
about May financial statement. So in May, it looks like the highway department spent $92,675 and change on blacktop shim material. It says in the annual repair of Home, Collins, Wolf Hill, Harlemville, Seekonk, Overlook, Mitchell, Orchard, Mansfield, and Oxbow roads. I believe these roads are all recently chip sealed.
No, not all recently.
So, okay, so are they chip sealed roads?
Some of them are paved roads.
Okay, and what is blacktop shim?
You put a shim coat where it's broke apart or the shoulders are falling apart.
Okay, yeah, so do you know on average, annually, how much we spend on shim or repairs to blacktop and?
80 to
Chips.
120.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're anticipating like basically $30,000 more in repairs,
You
It's
just asked
just
me roughly.
just capital expenses.
That's
so
not what I
just
said. Don't
material
manipulate my
expenses.
words. Well, you asked me what we annually we spent, $80,000 to $120,000. I didn't say anything about $30,000
Right,
increase.
well, no, so what I'm saying is we
I'm
already
not-
spent 90, so. No, I'm asking, so we've already spent 93, so that's where I came up with the 30. You said that between not,
You asked me on
120
average, I gave you an
minus 90.
average. I spent $93,000 this year.
On repairs.
so
Why are you assuming a 30,000?
He's done.
I'm just asking the question.
And I answered the question, but then you manipulated it by saying that I added $100 or $30,000 to it. No, I spent $92,000 on blacktop.
Yes, okay, so this is to repair chip sealed and paved roads,
Paved roads, yes,
not chip sealed roads.
both.
Okay, so out of those roads, all are paved or chip sealed.
Correct.
Okay, great, thank you. And this was not coded as for CHIPS reimbursement.
Correct, it doesn't.
Okay, it doesn't qualify as for CHIPS reimbursement or,
It depends how I manage my budget.
okay, so it does qualify for CHIPS reimbursement?
If I submitted it, yes. It
Okay.
could,
Okay,
it could.
okay. Okay, thank
But
you.
again, let me just
Yeah.
say, you're the board member?
Yeah.
You're the elected board member?
Yes,
I'm the elected highway superintendent.
yes.
Okay,
Okay.
you seem to have a problem.
No,
Okay.
I'm just asking the question.
Moving on
It's a very large item number to come through our vouchers, so I
Well,
think that
That's
it makes
totally
sense to
fine.
ask the
You
question.
didn't,
given
yeah, you didn't
the
have these
context of the
questions
meeting.
last year this time when I spent it that much money on blacktop.
Yeah, why now?
Okay, guys, I think the question has been answered. On to budget amendments. Okay, so we have a Microsoft Suite email account, that's approximately, $20,600 a year. Building quarterly statements of about 5,000. This was a new service that began right before we started. The line that it was coded to was never solidified, as it encompasses town board, buildings, all the several different departments, highway, it was kind of split up, but talking with Bob Patterson and Rabina, in order to simplify it, there's actually a dedicated line, A 1680.4 central data information, which makes it a lot more streamlined, and we'll be able to budget for this line a lot better next year. So I'm proposing that we add $20,600 into this line and then retroactively recode the first quarter payment of $5,000 into central data information. Also, adding $500 to highway super contractual, who had some unexpected printing costs this year. All this would come from contingency. Can I get a motion, please? Erwin, in second, and discussion?
Yeah, so I just, I don't know, did you see the email from NYMAR? It said that there was recent legislation amending general municipal law 337
Mhm.
for .gov,
Yes,
yeah.
we're working on that, yeah.
So shouldn't we maybe wait and account for that in this budget amendment?
There's no cost to that.
Yeah, all it is redirecting. It's using the same service, using the .gov, and just automatically
It's
redirects.
registered.
Including email addresses?
Yes, yeah.
Maybe, we don't,
I don't
we
think
don't
so.
necessarily have to change our email addresses, we have to change the website.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Move on.
Motion to approve. Okay. Good sign. Thank you.
Jamie?
Yeah, I'll abstain.
Also, since we were delayed in paying Joe Vining, I would like to jump ahead of the abstract schedule and approve his bill for the second quarter in the amount of $5,107.40. So we can get this check to him sooner rather than later. Can I get a motion, please? Can I get a second? Sarah, any further discussion?
This is within our line item?
Yeah, this will be in the new A 1680.4. Steve? Okay, town clerk report.
Abstain.
Where do we sign?
On the bottom, that, sorry.
I don't know what's going on with the
We have no side conversation, please. Thank you. Next up, we have the town clerk report.
one sec.
Huh?
We've had an exceptionally busy month this month. On average, every month we issue licenses and permits, we voucher all the town billing, we do payroll, we do sewer billing. We do documentation for the summer youth program, grant reimbursement documentation requests for the sewer grants from Barrett and Hinchy. This month we posted RFPs and RFQs on the web and other outlets for major town project, West End Bridge and streetlight relocation. And a daily update of the records and continuing work on the website, and not forgetting the monthly newsletter. So,
Thank you.
okay.
A motion to introduce local law 25-3, a local law to authorize special events in the town of Hillsdale. Let me get a motion first. Everyone, can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion, a little background. I guess 30 years ago, Falcon Ridge. It came to the town and said, hey, we want to do this music festival. The town board didn't really quite know what to do with it, so they threw it to the zoning board. In review with Ken Dow, turns out there's really no statutory authority for the zoning board to do this. We can have statutory permission if we were to pass this local law. We've already gave provisional approval for the August 9th event at the Rojam Brew. So in order to make this work, it's a little tight time frame, but suggesting a public hearing followed by a quick special meeting at June 30th at noon at 12:15 p.m. Any further discussion?
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
What was the date again?
The 30th, Monday.
June, it's a
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah.
At noon.
Yeah.
And does, Old Town fall into this?
Old Town has been approved, but we can reapprove them, I think would be the best way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to make them go through the paperwork again since they've already submitted
And
it.
town sanctioned events such as Shakespeare in the Park,
Mhm.
car show, that does not fall under this.
Technically it does,
Yeah.
but we've been giving approval to those events
Okay.
also, so this just solidifies everything. Ken did a really good job in.
So does Craig have to approve first, then?
No, the zoning board has no,
So it's just town board?
just town board.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Same. Again, I would have liked to, I would have liked to be informed that this was even being written or reviewed.
Okay, Sure.
Just an email.
I mean, I email you the week before and say that the draft agenda, I always, stuff comes in. I would suggest that the board member check
It just limits
daily.
the board member's ability to review the documentation. And something like a local law, I mean, we should be given a few days to review it, of course.
I believe this was posted last Thursday, so,
I didn't see it.
okay, we can tighten procedures. Sewer district report. Okay, the fabric and panels have been replaced. Jamie Malcolm at the DEC is very pleased. Hopefully we'll get some new test results. We're still waiting on full functionality of the panel with the
Yes.
online capability. The installation went really well. Kudos to both Precision and Earthworks and to Les Coons at our sewer operator. Now the Barrett grant number 27508, we are about to get our first reimbursement check in the amount of $31,983.80. That should have been sent on yesterday. And Rabina has also submitted the second reimbursement round in the tune of $80,340.19. The Hinchy grant, we did get word that the grant dispersal agreement has been approved, so I need a motion for the supervisor and then the town attorney to sign. Can I get a motion? Erwin, can I get a second? Joanna, any discussion on the GDA? This is the same one that we did for the Barrett grant. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We should be, I would imagine in a couple weeks, we'll be able to start submitting for the
Yes.
reimbursement.
Just send it to paperwork.
Okay, the absorption bed issue. Okay, so I just want to be very transparent about where our finances are with the sewer fund. We are showing a total current assets as of June 10th of $26,017. What I've done here is just to keep track of all the grant allocations that have been written, have been cashed, and are submitted. Now we're gonna have a new line of reimbursement next year. This week. Then the Hinchy grant will start to take effect. So if you take the current assets, take some debt, I did transfer $78,000 to pay the bill for the panels and the fabrics out of general. Once that check comes in, I will transfer it right back to general, alert the board, make us whole. Still some remaining debt from the original sewer debt. So, net, if you come with, the reimbursements, we have, $209,000. And we have current debt of 93, leaving us with a balance of 116. So I will say that just today, our yearly Loan payment for 33 came in, so that's gonna take us down, obviously. But, July 1st is the sewer billing, so we will be getting those EDUs in, which will serve to put us back up. The magic number we were looking at for the absorption bed issue to replace the absorption beds was $477,000. We should hopefully have 77 in cash reserves left. Part of the Hinchy, probably have about 30. That still leaves us with a rather large windfall. I have been talking to Hinchy's and Barrett's office almost, I would say every other day. They have let us know that they will be able to do something. I don't know what yet, but hopefully that'll get us closer to zero. I don't know how this story is going to end, but that's where we're at. Just FYI, the Rhinestone and Hudson River Bank Trust declined to offer a grant. So, but it was worth trying. Anything at this point.
For the sewer.
For the sewer, yeah, for the sewer. Any questions on the sewer? I know it's
Complex.
yeah, CPL is hard at work on a engineering plan for new leach fields. Once we have that plan, you know, thanks to the highway department for offering their help, we can start to make some plans. The DEC is requiring, unless we want to get fined, that the work be completed by winter. So it's a heavy lift, but see how it goes. Next up is the highway superintendent's report, the monthly report. Anything you want to say? No. Okay. Okay, so we have it amended 284. Can I get a motion? Or can I get a second?
Second.
Joanna. Okay, discussion. I would,
Wait, sorry, did
Yeah.
we skip something? We missed the highway? We're skipping through the agenda here.
but the Texas Hill report, that is an informational, that was a letter from Chris Kirsten confirming that it is a town road, meaning
From the center of the road.
from the center of the road, it is 3 rods in length. That's how old this law is, from the 1800s. A rod is 16.5 feet, meaning that the town owns by use any road that is in public use for 10 years or more is a town road by use. Most towns just say 50 feet instead of 49.5. From the center, 25 each way. That includes surface, shoulders, drainage, and any utilities, any tree work. That is the part of the town. If a town highway member is working on that road, they are working on town property. That is a town employee on town property. Okay, any questions on that concept?
Yeah,
No, I'm sorry, not from the, sorry. I mean, it's pretty simple. The town is responsible and has full rights from 25 feet from the center for a 49.5 foot width.
yeah, but I think you just said that it's town property. It's actually not town property.
Okay, it's
Private landowners actually own to the center of the
right,
road.
but the town has full authority to maintain any shoulders, drainage, obstructions within that 50 feet. That's good. Thank you for correcting me. Okay, 284
So the
amended.
monthly report? You skipped the monthly
No.
report?
No, he had no comment. I asked
Okay,
him.
well, I would like to review it. It's just a few seconds to review it.
Why?
Because there are people here
Just for the-
wondering why Texas Hill is being paved right now.
It's not, okay, it's not being paid.
It is
It is-
not being paved, there's
This-
drainage put in and it
This,
was widened.
this work would have happened regardless of any paving, chip sealing, whatever. This was part of the 284 that was presented in January, that the drainage, I can put it to you. This was,
my monthly report, I gave,
Yeah.
sent to you yesterday.
yeah, and it's posted 24 hours, it was posted
Wait, that's
36 hours.
actually just- You sent it yesterday, but I didn't receive it, so I'm just seeing it now. So that's, I'm a town board member and I just want to review what's on my board's agenda. Then I just let you do that.
Okay.
Few seconds.
To review it.
I'm,
We're not in
please,
a,
few
we're not in a
seconds.
big review thing.
I'm wondering why she's not getting it. Is there something wrong with?
No, it's. Done. Yes, that's right.
Took me a while to figure out that.
Well, yeah. Not how it looks. Well,
so, on Texas Hill Road, there was a piece of plastic, there was a membrane of plastic applied over the dirt surface and then aggregate put on top of that. So you were saying that that's a normal dirt road? That's normal maintenance for dirt roads?
Yeah. We use it on a lot of our dirt roads.
Laying a plastic membrane down?
It's called fabric, it's to keep the mud or clay or whatever from mixing with the aggregate that we put on the road.
Okay, so, yeah, Texas Hill Road residents alerted me to the work that was being done. I mean, just given the context of what's been going on here. and-
There's no secret, there's no hidden thing. My 284 was turned in January. It
Right,
has all this work on it. it says right out. It says fabric,
Yeah.
drainage fabric and gravel, and this
Right.
is from January. So it's not like you just received it last night.
so you're not paving Texas Hill Road? Is that what you're saying?
I've never proposed to pave. That's your misconception. I'm gonna chip seal it.
Oh, because chip sealing, you're saying is not a form of pavement. We're going back to the.
That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying.
Regardless, this work would have been done,
Yeah.
regardless of any further changes to the road.
I don't think that type of membrane is ever put down for a dirt road.
Ask the person who's been doing it for
For
30
30
years.
years,
You are not highway
Go
superintendent.
back through
Are
my
you-
budgets and see how many rolls of fabric I buy
The
every
only
year.
time I see that fabric is under chip seal, so that's what I was wondering, and then you just confirmed that you're chip sealing Texas Hill Road, that's all.
It's no secret, 284
Yeah.
from January.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, moving on.
I'm just confirming for members.
I
of the
have
public
confirmed it at
concern.
every meeting since January. We are chip sealing Texas Hill Road. The reason I'm asking for an amendment to the chip seal.
Can I get, real set, can I get a motion to, okay, discussion, please?
Because the state budget was finally passed and we got a $23,000 increase in our CHIPS funds.
Right,
So that's why I'm able to, I got money to chip seal the rest of Texas Hill Road. Otherwise, it would have been proposed to chip seal the rest of the road next year.
just doing it all at once.
Against
the
opposition.
Not-
Would anyone else like to comment? I'll call the vote again if we have,
It's a public road, it's not owned by the residents.
Exactly.
thank you. I have a fiduciary responsibility to all the taxpayers
So do I,
of
Mike.
Hillsdale. I have a responsibility for public safety, so Nico and other first responders can get up that hill. That's my responsibility.
Does not have.
So I will be voting yes.
It does not have a private road sign on each end. It's a
Correct.
public road.
It's public road. Anyone else like
Anybody in
to,
the world can travel that road.
anyone else like to comment?
We passed this, it's happening.
Jamie, would you like to comment?
No, I just want time to review documentation that I am required to review as a public official and a member of this board.
But it's not new. That's what I
It is
understand.
absolutely, it's a revised.
It's new to you.
284. It's new to me because the board that I work with and my colleague here, the highway superintendent, didn't inform me of this new document that is supposed to be an agreement between all of us. So just give me a few seconds to review it. Thank you.
Okay.
What was amended to the 284?
It's in red.
It's in red on the 284. It just said, I'm adding Home Road to the chip seal, I'm adding Wolf Hill Road to the chip seal, and I'm adding the double chip seal coat from West End completely to Lockwood Road.
Thank you.
It's separated right out in Reading, so it's not,
So that's the only thing that was
that's the
amended.
only thing that was changed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and so Home Road and Wolf Hill Road was included in this $93,000 in May for shimming,
No.
for blacktop shim. Well, it is
Those roads are
listed.
shimmed, but
Right.
it's not part of the chip seal. It's the process of,
It says right here, blacktop shim, single coat chip seal.
yeah,
So you included Home Road and Wolf Hill Road here, but you already itemized those items as non-chips.
I'm chip sealing.
I'm sorry, sorry, this is my confusion. So wasn't this money already expended? Wasn't it already paid in May?
No,
Meaning these projects, you're saying Home Road and Wolf Hill Road, blacktop shim, single coat chip seal. But I just brought up the $93,000 bill in May where this material was already paid for and this work was already completed. So now we have a 284 here that
incorrect,
we're reviewing.
incorrect. I blacktop shimmed the roads to prepare for chip seal. That was the $93,000.
Shoulder repairs.
No, I witnessed the repairs on Harlemville in May, and it wasn't really shoulder repair.
Well,
It
that's
was,
You said shoulder repair. It was repair broken blacktop.
Oh, there you go.
yeah, okay, that's what I observed. Yeah, okay. I just can't understand why we are approving these now when the money was already spent in May.
Because
And the
the
work was already
blacktop-
performed in May.
blacktop shimming, I guess I can take that out. The blacktop shimming is under my regular budget.
Right.
The chip seal is gonna be, you're getting a technical question here. It depends on the year. This is a platform that I changed, just the roads and stuff. Some years, depending on what roads I need to do, is sometimes I apply for the blacktop under the,
Just there.
the chips.
Right.
I don't necessarily have to do that, and I chose not to do that this year. It depends on the year and what roads I'm doing.
Okay, so the $93,000 in May will not be recoded as chips.
Correct.
Okay.
Just to be clear, the highway superintendent has full purview and control of what work is done on what roads. With the exception of the 284, yes.
I mean, this is all in the budget numbers.
Right, but the town board has full budgetary oversight.
Right, but
Full
we
budgetary
gave him a
oversight.
budget at the beginning of the year, which he is using as he sees fit.
Okay. I would like to review why I'm voting no. There's deficiencies in the board's review of the 284 and financial control concerns. The 284 agreement for highway expenditures was not reviewed during our 2025 budgeting period and should be each year. The budgetary responsibility of the town lies with the town board, and the highway superintendent should not be operating as a CFO outside the direct budgetary oversight of the town board. In past meetings, I have raised that material explicitly earmarked for the paving of Texas Hill Road was purchased by the highway supervisor prior to the 284 approval.
Superintendent.
Highway superintendent prior to the 284 approval of paving Texas Hill Road. The highway budget has expanded from $941,000 in 2013 to over 1.8 million in 2024. This represents a 7.4% average annual rate of increase, which is far above the annual rate of inflation of 2.7% over the same period. How is that possible? Why do we continue to see increases in our highway budget each year? It was stated by both the highway superintendent and our CFO, Supervisor Dvorak, that the town saved significantly by paving and chip sealing, transitioning dirt roads to paved roads. In the same period, approximately 20 miles of dirt roads have been paved or chip sealed in Hillsdale. Where are the savings? Concerned members of the public and I have asked, where are the savings? Despite my repeated requests, this highway superintendent and the town clerk have provided no evidence of budgeting of any kind for the projects involving the transition of roads from dirt to pavement. The budgeting required to assess, one, whether paving a road is a financially responsible decision, and two, whether donations of any kind should be solicited to offset costs of maintaining dirt roads. Solicited donations to the new gift committee are being benchmarked against unsubstantiated cost analyses and savings projections, which have been widely publicized by members of our town gift committee and our CFO, Supervisor Dvorak. I have in past meetings requested the town's CHIPS submission documentation. Town Clerk Boers had stated that the CHIPS submission documentation of the last 36 years has not been maintained by the town. The last CHIPS submission period ended as recently as June 6, 2025. So where is that documentation?
Just downstairs in our file cabinet, and until it's actually approved by CHIPS, it's not made public.
Excuse me?
I'm telling you, that's exactly what it is.
Our
You
public,
Let
Let Rosina speak, please.
We voucher Richard vouchers every single bill he gets. The CHIPS form is made up of all his vouchers that he puts forward for CHIPS reimbursement. You get those vouchers in the abstracts. You're able to see them. You're able to review them. In fact, you just spoke about them. And until CHIPS is actually paid, they're not public documents.
Right, but I'm not a member of the public. I'm a member of the board.
Yes, you are.
That has fiduciary responsibilities
You see
and
them
budgetary.
as abstracts. You see the vouchers in the abstracts.
Okay, I asked, members of the public and I have asked for this documentation. I would argue that this documentation is absolutely in the public
It was
domain
given
and
to
should
me.
be made available.
It was given
to
to
the
me
public,
on June
and it
6th.
absolutely should be made available to
It's
board
not made
members.
available until CHIPS reviews it and says they're going to pay it. Otherwise, it's.
That is ridiculous.
No, it's
Of
not.
course, our board should be able to review that.
No,
document.
review it.
We do review it
No.
in the abstract.
It's in every voucher that I turn in. It says it right on every voucher.
So in the last meeting, which I was present, I gave a list of the items which are required in a CHIPS documentation. So, I mean, I've listed this many times. I just want to see it.
There's one thing
I
you
just
don't
want to see
understand
it.
here, and Rabina.
37
Mike and I-
years worth of documentation.
Rabina, Mike and I have been working diligently. It is not our fault, especially not Rabina's fault, that the prior administration did not keep the records for 36 years. I submitted them all. We have been working with DOT, the comptroller's office and stuff, to get this information for you people. Okay? It's not hidden. We're working on it.
Okay,
It's not our
That's
fault that
that's
when
great,
when
but
my
I think-
paperwork was submitted to the town clerk, that she didn't, or he at the time, whatever town clerk, it's not our fault that it wasn't kept.
we, as public officials, we cannot responsibly engage the public without this information. We can't responsibly engage the public for donations that are benchmark, benchmark quid pro quo.
The
Benchmark
clerk did
quid
keep
pro
it.
quo
The clerks did.
to cover
But
costs.
Amy, you're asking for something that doesn't
Unsubstantiated costs.
exist.
That's why we sought out a third-party estimate,
Are from.
which you totally
from
discounted.
Russo,
Yeah, from Palo
the
Russo.
largest supplier to the
Correct,
town.
which
of
would,
Hillsdale.
the largest, which would be the cheapest. Please find another one please find a contractor to go out and say,
It is a complete conflict of interest, and we, members of the public who have experience reviewing, vast experience reviewing financial statements, and myself, have said that those are impossible cost scenarios. We
It's not.
need real data, the public needs real information. They deserve to sit down with us, they deserve to sit down with you, members of the gift committee, and actually.
Why did we sit down when it's the
Yes.
same exact thing? We've just done, for 3 months now, we've been saying the same exact thing to you,
We can
and you've been
be-
arguing the same exact thing,
These
because you
are-
don't agree with it, you don't like it, it doesn't exist.
It's not that I disagree with your position to pave roads. It's that I believe in a public process.
It has been a public process.
These are your constituents, and
Okay.
they are disgruntled, and they are very upset.
And they're being wound up by a fellow board member.
Yeah, you're not, Jamie,
No.
if the information wasn't kept by former clerks, how are we supposed to produce those numbers for you?
well,
I'm
that's Palo
asking
Russo.
for current information, as I
But
said.
in the
As I said, the doc.
It's in the
It's in the
abstract.
That
abstract
Palo
every
Russo,
month.
if you're gonna discount it, it does include the tonnage. You get, that is a known cost.
It is not.
Okay, great, then we gave a 50% discount because on the gift.
Yeah,
So what exactly is your point here?
Paulo Russo's estimates that you publicized
Mhm.
represent impossible cost scenarios.
No, it represents the safest, best roads. Richard is forced, and Chatham, and all these towns are forced to work on a budget that they have to scrimp on the amount of gravel that they are able to put down. The recommended is 2 inches of gravel is lost every year on a dirt road. So that's what we use, and that's the roads I want in Hillsdale, because they're the safest and they're the best for the community. So we don't have the budget to do that, and I know that.
Projected cost, if we were able to do that every year,
Correct,
would be if we were able to do it, would be $144,000.
correct. Or we could just chip seal.
So from my understanding, towns like the town of Chatham actually itemizes their gravel.
yeah, they
costs.
have
Good for
a
them.
secretary for the highway department.
They've
We
got
don't have the
two,
budget.
they've got 2 boards,
We don't
4
have the budget.
secretaries.
They've got a
And
bigger
in certain
town.
the town accountant actually files.
What town?
In certain towns, the
Yeah.
town accountant actually files, makes CHIPS filings. So,
That's
maybe,
certain towns.
maybe there's an opportunity here for us to actually see real costs, to understand real costs. Instead of just like voting every year blindly, to pave the town of Hillsdale. Like I've said in the past, this CHIPS infrastructure is based on a single funding source. So what if that funding source doesn't exist anymore? What do we do? What do we do to maintain asphalt roads and chip sealed roads?
Increase the taxes,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, we
there you
just,
go.
right?
Well,
We just,
what you have to do.
Well,
we'll
that's
just
what,
increase taxes.
isn't CHIPS great
Easy.
that it allows us to keep the taxes down?
Easy,
Why is it gonna go away?
yeah. Rising costs,
Yeah.
we'll just.
Well,
we'll
you're
just
saying
raise
gravel's not gonna
taxes.
rise in cost?
Materials
All materials are gonna
are
rise in cost.
expensive.
We're not gonna be buying tons of gravel and making a hole,
you
it's gonna be
don't-
accounting.
You don't have to respond to me. I think that it's very disappointing. This process has been very disappointing for members of the public who want to preserve dirt roads and want to engage with you. They want respectful engagement with you. That's all they're asking for.
And we passed.
There are
We passed it.
solutions. I think that you
You're beating. a
Supervisor
dead
Dvorak
horse.
came up with a great solution.
Jamie,
right?
you're beating a dead horse. We voted on this.
Actually, that's what you're voting on right now, but.
We voted on a 284.
Now, we voted on the two
This is an
eighty-four.
amended.
It's an amendment.
With the amendments in red.
Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
No,
Thank you. Next up is, there are two copies, you got two copies? Yeah, two copies, thank you. Gift committee, we did have a gift committee from, Honey Dog Farms. This was vetted, or discussed at a gift committee meeting. The recommendation is to accept based on the following criteria: public safety. There are no residences on this road, nor is it a vital thoroughfare in case of a fire either on the Rodman or Rockledge. The resident did sign off on this and has no objection. And the amount offered, the committee did feel was sufficient to alleviate the burden on Hillsdale taxpayers. So can I get a motion to approve the conditional gift of $28,000 for a half a mile per year
For Apple Tree Lane.
for Apple Tree Lane? Can I get a motion?
It's gonna be a critical go through when the bridge is being rebuilt.
Owen?
Okay,
And who's second?
Go ahead.
so you're saying we should chip seal it then? So, okay, no, you're saying we should chip seal it if
Don't
it,
have the discussion.
okay, I'm not, sorry.
It's not public.
Thank you.
So it's, how long is this agreement for? Is it 1 year, 2 year, 3 years?
3.5 years, it's a half year and then 3 consecutive years.
And when does he pay?
July 1st and then January 1st.
And then after that, January 1st, he signed it.
Any further discussion? Motion to accept.
Aye.
Favor.
Jamie?
what are you voting?
Yeah, we voted.
Oh, you voted to,
Accept,
Accept.
yeah.
I abstain.
Okay, we have had a second gift submission that was submitted yesterday. We were gonna have to set a gift committee meeting probably next week. All right, I'll check your schedule, Richard.
Thanks, you know, that's fine.
Should stay.
Okay, I need a,
Stay next to me.
no, you don't sign.
Yeah, sure, it's-
I need a motion to sign the shared services Columbia County Highway Department. The town board authorizes the supervisor to sign the highway shared services 5-year agreement with Columbia County and all the entities who are included in the county. So basically all the towns and all the county need permission to share their services. Can I get a motion, please? Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Is the town doing a resolution to,
This is the resolution. Yeah,
I'm
that
sorry,
you already signed did you sign the one with the county?
I will, yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
All in favor?
There should be a
Joanne.
separate resolution.
This is the resolution.
No, there should be a resolution with the county.
Yeah, no, that's,
The town board has to authorize a resolution to adopt that resolution to
okay,
do that. There should be a resolution tonight.
Yeah, I
okay.
agree with him that this
Okay.
is an agreement, but it seems like we need a resolution for the agreement.
Yeah, that, what you're signing, Mike, you're getting authorization to sign
Okay,
is the intermunicipal agreement.
okay,
That's with the county. So we're entering it with the county.
okay.
I need a resolution
Okay.
from you guys, from the town,
Resolution
to work with.
with the other, okay, sorry, I
No,
missed
that's
that.
fine, that's fine.
Okay, so,
I don't
resolution,
think it's gonna be a problem to do it next month's meeting.
no, let's just do it now. Resolution for the town of Hillsdale Highway Department to work,
With
with the other municipal,
Participants.
all participants of the county agreement.
Correct.
Can I get a motion, please?
Right here.
Erwin, I'll second that. Any discussion?
Where's Steve raised his hand?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, cemetery maintenance, I'm going to,
Go to shared services, don't you have to?
we just did that.
Yeah, you guys made a motion.
We've made
to
two
authorize the
motions.
design.
and
That
there-
was the first vote though.
It was unanimous. Okay. Okay, cemetery maintenance, I'm gonna punt on this since Ken is sick tonight. So basically the what's it called? The West Cemetery,
Baptist Cemetery.
West Baptist Cemetery
West
near
Cemetery.
Craryville Road. Their society that was upkeeping it has disbanded. And has asked that the town take it over, or if it were still in existence, we should probably get a formal letter saying we are.
It was
Giving this to
mostly
you.
with the check.
Okay, so there was money left over, $6,000. Ken will talk next meeting on whether we have to use it for that particular cemetery or all cemeteries. The check was more than a year old, so I did go ahead and cash it, because, I wasn't sure if it was gonna go through, but, Ken will talk about this next month. Relocation of light poles on, State Route 23, Irwin,
Yes.
it's out the bid.
We have been reimbursed from the insurance company for all the down poles.
Right.
We have the bid submitted for 3 new poles.
Right,
And CPL is working with the DOT, which has approved all the relocations.
right. So you need a motion to order the replacement poles. This is a single source replacement situation. There's 4, but we're not
But we're not
replacing
replacing the
one
one in front of
because of the
the
stone wall.
wall.
There's no room.
Casino, Casana.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll
That's
just,
a nightmare trying to snowball through there anyway.
yeah, we'll just use that.
Some of them are just gonna be
Gotcha, okay.
to balance it out.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't, George has, well, he can't tell us if we have any
No.
bids yet or not, but that comes at June
June 27th.
27th.
12.
Yeah, so all in favor?
Who made the motion?
We have a
Motion.
motion.
Motion, Joanne. All in favor?
Aye.
You wanted to move the light poles again.
Yeah, I'm just reviewing it, I'm sorry. I will
Next.
abstain.
Okay. Next up, Irwin did the audit with Leheim.
Everything was fine.
Agreed, he is very meticulous. Always, I've never
Nope.
caught a discrepancy in any
I
of
had
his.
lessons from him.
Yeah, so can I get a motion to accept the buildings audit? And I'll second that.
Can I make?
Sure.
I didn't know.
That's for all the fees for
Buildings, yeah,
driveways, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Including some gas.
yeah, cash.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Irwin.
You're welcome.
I think the clerk's audit, Patterson can do.
Yeah.
And I think we're pretty good then. Did the court supervise?
We're
Okay,
done.
good. West End Bridge Engineer Selection. We had 3 companies. It's, first of all, this is a request for qualifications, not a bid, so there's no pricing involved. 3 bids, 3 companies did come forward. The committee did weighted their votes on 5 different things, classifications, and came up with GPI, mostly because they have a sterling record of working with the town already.
They know the town.
They know the town intimately with the sidewalk project, and they just.
And they're appropriate with the scale of the work that we are about to do.
Correct,
Not too big, not too small.
correct, and they just last year did a county bridge on County Route 21, sorry.
Yeah.
Which came in on time and I believe on budget.
Correct.
According to Ray Drakowski. Looking forward to getting started on this. There's a lot. We're looking at 2027
27.
For construction.
for construction, and it is a
West
trout
Coast,
stream,
yeah.
so there's a lot of timing issues here. But Yeah,
spring, yeah.
yeah. Motion to select GPI as engineer. Erwin, can I get a second? Discussion, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Jamie, is that on? Okay, okay, the next item is, something from our assessor, Cheryl. I need a motion to approve the following settlement agreement for Article 7 tax. I can't pronounce this word, Satoriari proceeding at the indicated revised assessment amount, and to authorize the town attorney to execute such settlement agreement accordingly. So basically, Cheryl did have a request. She found this was legitimate. The appraised full market value was slightly over $1 million. I'm sorry. It was an acceptable level. Our current equalization rate is 64%. And so this is a reduction, which would make it about $670,000. And this is a reduction from the original assessed value of $964,000. Can I get a motion, please? Okay. Unfortunately, Ken's not here tonight. We could go into a bit more detail.
So what's the difference between this and when somebody comes to grievance day?
They're related. That's the grievance day starts this process, or technically you don't have to really wait until grievance day. You
You can go at any time?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there just has to be a,
So basically, somebody challenged their assessment, they went through.
yeah, comparable, Cheryl.
This was, okay.
Yeah, so this is the paperwork behind that.
Yeah.
We have to authorize that because it is a change in our tax structure. All in favor?
Wow.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I just, okay. So this was based on a process that they went through last year, is that what it is?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it took this long to come to.
Correct, and this
Okay.
is the board has to sign off on it and authorize the attorney to make this change.
Okay, great, I approve.
Thank you. Okay, Hamlet Committee, let's see, market is spelled wrong there. We netted, $1,077.08 from the fleet. You can
That's
click
the
in
vendor fees?
vendor fees minus, some spray paint and I forget what else, porta potty, thank you. This was advertised as being earmarked for the Hamlet Park. So I would like a motion to earmark those funds for the Hamlet Park. Erwin, second. Anybody have any discussion? All in favor? Okay, so I did do a spreadsheet of Hamlet Park funds available, including last year's flea, the park reserve. Currently HECDC has some money. I think those were the items. I just want to keep close tabs on that so we know what we're dealing with.
80,000 from the rhinestone.
You went ahead, but that's okay. You stole my thunder.
They heard me.
All right. So Bart Ziegler, who is the deputy supervisor and member of the Hamlet Committee, and Shannon Bell are proposing to put forth a grant with Hudson Valley Bank and Trust for $20,000. They also would like to submit a band shell budget as part of their budget package. The HBRT is an online platform. I'll have them send whatever they get back. It's a pretty simple, fill in your name and the amount and contact information and a budget. And the letter is contained within. So can I get a motion to approve the preliminary band shell budget? This is all based on research that Bart did with the town of Copiague, which installed a similar band shell 2 years ago. Obviously, prices will go up, but Erwin, I'll second that. Any further discussion?
Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
That, sorry,
Sure,
did you
sure.
receive, sorry, there's a number of items to look at here, so
Sure.
did they receive an estimate?
He used the figures from Copake's public.
Right, they
Yeah,
had
yeah,
it.
so he hasn't gone on the bid yet or estimates like that,
Okay.
but this is a pretty good estimation. In talking, he actually talked to Richard Wolf too, the Copake
Okay.
supervisor.
Ours is gonna be smaller, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be a little smaller. And this is more for the grant purposes than,
Yeah.
you know. We will,
So the first, there's no match requirement? There's
no,
no.
this
okay.
is a straight, it's like the Rhinestone.
Okay. So part of it is one, the HRBT Foundation grant, and part of it is Bridgestone Hill?
Correct. And
Okay.
then other grants and or remaining funds or we'll
Okay,
figure it out.
so this year, we already authorized, the engineering firm to make a new plan of the park.
Correct.
The board hasn't reviewed a new plan yet, a new park plan.
Correct, but the band shell was part of the original plan that we're going to scale down. And it
Okay.
was the number one in the audience survey.
Oh,
And,
okay, so it
yeah.
was in the original.
There is Chasm, yeah.
Jason.
Jason,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
plan.
Correct. Yeah, and that, what we authorized CPL to do was more of a plotting of taking that Chazen and toning it down. It's a step by step.
Yeah.
Also not Europe, but the charging stations would be part of that.
Okay.
Okay, great.
How about the second one, the best?
Do we approve the preliminary budget? All in favor?
We do.
Aye for the preliminary
Ready?
budget.
Yeah, I'm sorry, okay.
Preliminary
sorry.
budget, we just.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Sorry, there's a lot here, so,
Yeah,
okay,
All right, and then the next step is actually to
how are we approving the preliminary budget? But we don't have an overall park plan budget.
correct.
I mean, my position has been in many meetings that we really need a full park plan in order to. I mean, I think without a match, go and get the money, go and get the grant money, whatever grant money you can get, but. I think for this board to approve $166 $1,000
Budget.
a budget item, I don't think these grants cover that budget item. So it actually means that we are matching our own grant applications, so there is a match requirement here.
Well, unless we go get further grants, which is what they're working on, and there
Right.
was a full.
But I don't think we're required then, I don't think we're required to approve this budget yet, is what I'm
This
saying.
is preliminary to submit for this grant. So,
Okay.
HPR,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I see what you mean.
Right.
So it's basically an estimate being
Yes,
submitted to a grant application.
exactly, yeah,
They have something to base things.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I know it's cart
So
horse,
we go back.
chicken egg, okay.
Yeah.
We go to the bench.
Okay, so, motion to, grant permission to, submit the grant for $20,000.
Sure.
Erwin, a second, I'll second that. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. I'll let Bart know. Okay, then the good news is that Rhinestone came through with $80,000 for, the band shell. They did not require a preliminary budget. I want to congratulate Bart Ziegler and Shannon Bell and the entire Hamlet Committee and everyone who worked on the Chasm Plan Forward. We had a really great Shakespeare in the Park this weekend. It was really well attended and it was really nice. So I need a motion to actually accept the grant from Rhinestone, Erwin and Joanna. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I would just say that I think that, plans for this band shell and also the overall park plans should really be reviewed by the board
Oh,
and reviewed publicly before any of this grant money is spent.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would also say that, have you seen the band shell in Copac Park?
yeah.
How does it look to you?
It's sleek and modern and, on
It's way too
cement.
big
and
for the Hamlet.
It's big, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
it's in the
mean,
wrong place.
I will say publicly that it is not very attractive. And I
Okay.
think like anyone with any type of architectural or design background
Okay,
might say the same.
okay.
So I just,
If you, I believe it
Yeah.
was a kit,
Yeah,
so if you have other examples of kits, please forward to.
yeah, I mean, I'm not on this committee, but
No,
I don't know if there's an architect or anyone from a design background. Maybe you could seek out some assistance. with
Yeah,
that.
I don't know the.
Just because, I mean, like,
Well, I mean,
just
the-
go,
got kits.
Yeah.
it doesn't even require a design background, just go and look at it and imagine it in our hamlet, and I think you'll,
Too big,
I'm
You'll
happy to do that.
yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, you
I'm happy
might,
to do that.
you might find that it wouldn't be appropriate, and it wouldn't
Design
match the
background.
vernacular
Okay.
of our hamlet.
Just
Okay,
starting school.
thank you. Rotan Park.
Oh, you
Okay,
wanna mention the park itself?
did we vote on the Rhinestone?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
I didn't get to.
It's okay for me to.
Yeah, I
do that
voted
because
too.
I'm on the committee to look at.
Oh, please say.
All right. Just.
I'm sorry, you said, Ravina?
Mowing. Oh, we
Mowing.
get to the-
Yeah, the Rojan Park, we had 7.5 inches of rain in May. Which you'd have to go back to 1953 to get that amount of rain. The problem was that the ground was so wet that he needed 3 days for it to dry out. And then for it to cut the hay, and then 3 days afterwards, because it's 100 acres, you can't rain on the hay. We never got it. Which is a problem, because that's.
We lost revenue.
We lost revenue. But the migrating birds, I don't think we still could have mowed, honestly, with the weather we've having. So that would be way into the migration of the migrating bird season. So I just want to thank Lynn Main and Berkshire Dairy for being so understanding and such. I mean, he's one of our main sources for 20 years of revenue in that park, and we could not have that park without him. And he lost a round of hay this year. Again, it's the weather. Can't really control it, but we thought it best to forego the mow. I haven't heard any. Joanne, have you heard any feedback about the
About what?
park not being mowed? Because people are used to having it mowed and.
Now I'm busy with the gravel and the.
Yeah, okay, I would suspect some, ticks and,
It's grass. I mean, it's.
yeah,
It's been long before.
right.
It'll
And there's still,
it'll get cut in the fall, in August.
yeah, you can
It'll
cut,
be fine.
it's still paths are being mowed.
Yeah,
Okay.
paths are being mowed,
Yeah.
yes.
Great, okay. So Joanna, would you like to discuss another HRBT Foundation?
Yeah, before the Hamlet Committee went to the HR.
Oh, Lord, Lord.
I went to them for a grant proposal for new dog park and just general maintenance fee for the recreational stuff that has wear and tear. Like this week, we're replacing the gravel on the floor of the Hilltop barn that's coming out of our reserve, so. Thank you, Rich, for bringing the gravel. And so stuff like that, I'm thinking ahead to just put more money in that fund, in the HECDC fund. Cause that money, if we get it, will go to them.
That's true,
Right.
yeah.
So it'll
Okay,
be there for the park,
right.
but earmarked 25 to 30 for a new dog park.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll motion that, I guess second. Further discussion, please.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
So we have two grants, which I'm pretty certain we'll probably get, because we know the grant people here. But we have two grants, and are they both in the name of the town of Hillsdale?
I talked to one of the trustees, I guess, and made it clear that one park is in the town of Hillsdale. The other park is a state park in Copac and downplayed that the check would be written out to the same HECDC. She assured me that they would not be in competition with each other. That being said, it's two parks in the general
And he's
vicinity.
gonna wait a month to submit the Hamlet Park one. We're gonna submit the Road Jam one first.
And when did I make did I make their decisions all at once
We have a
or?
monthly
We have a
meeting.
monthly meeting, yeah. So,
No.
yeah, no, it's,
Yeah, just why I asked the question, it's a very complicated issue because we have a park in the hamlet of Hillsdale, that's the town park. And then there's a park in Copac, the Road Jam Park,
that we
which
made.
obviously is not in Hillsdale, it's in Galway, but we manage the park. So we get into these conflicting things about Hamlet Park, Road Jam Park,
Right.
where money
But the
goes.
town can't use
Section.
taxpayer dollars to manage the park in Copac, so it has to be raised.
right. There's also our financials, there's no other place to put the Road Jam Park other than park fund cash.
Mhm.
So we have a reserve for the Hamlet Park, but we also list a checking account for the Road Jam Park, but there's no real way to legally to separate that out, but.
That, the last time we got a grant from Rhinestone,
Yeah.
she,
Yeah.
Mm.
last year,
Yeah,
how did we give it to the HCDC?
no,
To the
they,
town.
they're a nonprofit, so they
Yeah.
don't care about.
So we just put it in an account for Road Jam.
Yes, we put it in the Road Jam.
So would this new grant, cause I know they're very eager to give it to us.
Yeah.
It would go to the same place?
I believe, no, because Rhinestone is a 501c3, so they don't need a tax deduction. Hudson Valley Bank and Trust is a for-profit, so they are
Gotcha.
looking for a tax deduction,
Gotcha.
so they would go to the HECDC,
Alright, gotcha.
so.
Alright, that's fine with me,
In
as long as
fact-
we just get the letter and the
We just got
financials to them.
$2,500 for, 500 for each for Hamlet Housing
Yes.
Climate Smart.
That's from Bank of
Economic.
Oh, that's a different one, okay, but that money's gonna go to the HECDC, I'll alert you when $500
Drive from them,
from the HECDC.
got it,
Vote.
Okay,
okay,
on favor?
I,
Aye.
I just had a question.
Sure.
And was this review, they may have had a meeting that I couldn't attend, but was this reviewed with the Road Jam Park Steering Committee?
what steering committee, I've asked repeatedly if there were meetings or anyone having meetings. Or anyone that's a member, and I've been told
Yeah.
it's disbanded,
Who told you that?
Bill and Zelda,
What?
weren't they members?
Yeah, they haven't attended meetings in a very long time,
They
but
said there were no meetings called.
no, so I have been absent for the last 2 months.
Okay, well,
So
then-
perhaps they are still very active, but
Okay.
perhaps there were no meetings per se.
Are they sending it, they're not sending us notes?
or
Minutes.
I don't think there were any meeting. I don't
Okay.
think they had
All right.
quorum. I don't think there were any.
Just so you know, there was a huge debate about dogs. Off leash,
Mhm.
a huge problem, not a problem, but there was.
Recently.
Oh,
The
yeah.
last 2 months,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
which we did discuss at length. There's gonna be new signage, with, Kyle Miller's phone number on it. And,
Fines, we're gonna start giving out.
this is also a bit of nuance in that we don't have a dog law we could enforce. It would have to be Copac in a Copac court with Copac getting the fines. Crazy, but we're gonna get
They
fined.
agreed to do that.
Yeah, so, there's, hey, it's a great big park.
We're just giving large dogs a space to run. They don't have, the dog park that is there now is for small breed dogs and it also needs work.
Yeah,
So figure like a horse corral somewhere in the corner of the park that people can walk to with their dogs and let them off leash.
okay.
So we're
I
gonna,
just, so this idea has also been reviewed by the steering committee for the last year and a half.
okay,
I think it's been on lists, communicated back and forth with you in collaboration. And I think, we should make sure to at least engage the steering committee, I think,
Okay.
on design ideas and because they also have, much of the interface.
Sure.
Of the.
I just wanna get the money.
Yeah,
then we'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
but let's get this up. I would
Yeah.
greatly, anything that gets us done, and the dogs running free. I would support. Any other business before the town?
Vote. I
Oh,
vote.
sorry, a vote, all in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Any other business before the town? Motion to adjourn,
Motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So.
Aye.